everyone, and welcome to Tech Expert. This is the first edition. Today I'm going to show you guys how we can work with the read and write operations using Linux environments. So if you're a developer, if you're a software engineer, or newbies, there are a lot of things that you may have to work on you may have to face when you work with the Linux operating system. And this has to do with dealing with folders and file, with bash and the SSH scripting language. You have to deal with those things. A lot of time we need permissions, especially when we work with the operating system Linux. Most of the time you need permission to allow either the Node.js or the Apache Tomcat server to access the directory for the specific folder that you want to read. And in order to do that, sometimes you will have to face a challenge if you don't know exactly the type of key or the type of code that you need to type in order to allow your Tomcat servers to read the specific folder that you want to execute in the system. So to do that, what you need to do right now is to use the ch. Let me just open the folder. You have to go to your folder here. If you are using an EDA like IntelliJ that I'm currently using, you can go in your directory. You create a directory, or if you don't have it, I can just do it right here in the bash command. I can create a directory. As you can see here right now, we don't have anything on my home page. You can see what is available right now, those files, those folders. So these folders are located inside the home page. You can see that as I open the home folders, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got a specific folder with different type of read or write operations tags on them. So how to do that, how to achieve that kind of goals, or how to make it happen so that maybe you don't have to stress around debugging systems while they are trying to execute it. So to do that, you just have to go ahead and create a directory. This is a simple example. To create a directory in Linux or using the Node.js environments, we just have to create the mkdir make directory. This is a surname, the shortcut. Make directory. The directory, you have to enter the name of the directory. Like I can say Linux folder, and here we go. I just created a new directory called Linux folder. So if I open this home page, you will see that now we have a folder called Linux folder here, right here. I didn't know how to. I didn't know how to kind of go ahead and say create a folder like in Windows. I just had to enter this shortcut name, make directory, the code, and then I was able to create the folder. But now, how to make it read, giving it the read and write operations. So to do that, so that we can also create I just need to go ahead and open my my bash script right here. Type the command ls to see the directory, the folder that are inside the CLI, and then with that we just have to create next just have to type this code called chmod, and we need to specify the type of operation we want. Is it a read or write operation? To be sure about that, if you don't know, you can just go ahead and look at the Linux command as I'm doing right here in Google. You can see something like Linux make file read file writable, for example, or Linux read and write. Simple. You will see a bunch of recommendations to guide you through, but some of those recommendations that you can see are here. These are the one for read, write, execute, and so on. So, but in the specific case of my tutorial, I'm just gonna make it read and write by typing the code, say 777, and I need to specify the folder that will have that kind of access. So I need to create Linux folder. We have a Linux folder here, and press enter. Now if I go back and check what really happens in my directory, inside my directory, I will see something completely different right here. Now this folder can have file that will be read and write, that will be able to make a read and write operations. And to create a folder, to create a specific file that will have that kind of role inside, I just have to go and type the cd command Linux folder. This will give me access to the directory, and then I will have to create a file, a bash file that will execute the code right here by entering tosh. Enter the tosh command. The tosh command will help us to create the file, and the file will be an sh file, which is a scripting language for bash scripting. So we have to create something like a name, give it the name of the folder that we want to execute. Let's say, for example, I want to design a software that will say hello on my once I click bash and execute, maybe a docker it will help me to execute a docker logging or logging out, or docker directory executes. So let's say something like that, for example. So I'm going to create a specific file. It's going to be like a bash scripting software that will execute help us improve the Docker environments. So To do that, I just have to say give it a name, Docker helper, and the Docker helper will be Docker helper .sh as an extension of the file. And there you go, you can see that we just generated a file called docker helper.sh right here inside, and this file has a property. The property are read and write operations. So in any given time, when the system will try to execute and operate inside a Linux environment, it won't be restricted. It won't get restricted because it already have a read and write operation in it. So if I were to do that before, I would have been stopped because it did not have that kind of specific property that allows us to operate inside the Linux environment. It will be restricted to the specific location where it has been placed. So now, as I got the file, what I can do is just to say something like open the file, and to make that, because it's a little bit difficult to work in this interface, but I will do that for later on. Let me just keep working on it. I'm just gonna go ahead and create and open the folder, open the file, and start writing some script in it, so that we will be able to make a test and in our projects. Right now I'm just gonna go ahead and create the file called nano. Open the file, as I say nano right here. As it is a bash script, we want to make sure that we have a specific bash command that will make the operation easier for us. Is bin and .bin bash So now here in this file, we want to write a code that can say hello. To do that, we just need to write something like echo. You can see the difference of the code now. Echo hello. Welcome to Docker helper. And with the Docker helper, we want to maybe say something like please maybe something like, what do you want to do, or what do you expect to do. But we want to request the username and password for the user. For example, please enter your credential. You have your credential here, and once you assign your credential, you want to kind of go right and write something like a way to access those credentials. By saying enter your credential, you need to specify the type of credential you want to access on. So you want to say read. Now this one allows us to read the user's input, and once we read that input, you want to store it, let's say username, and then we want to place a $sign here, username, and let's try out and see what we get. So first of all, I need to save the updates by entering control.x, and then I specify yes to confirm the registration. And now I save the change. So how to execute this command, this code? What I need to do right here is just to come in front of the file and type the word bash and see. You can see now we have a code that has been executed. Hello, welcome to Docker Helper. Please enter your credential. Now you can see I made mistakes here. As you can see, the last line was not able to read the value of the data that I was trying to read because I did not follow the right process to get the user's data or user input. So, but we are there because we have been able to create this program that can now say hello, welcome to Docker Helper. So here we are. This is a bash scripting language. So, and this folder has a read and write operation. What does that mean? It means if I want to execute it in any type of environment, because he has that right, that privilege, he will be able to have no restrictions around the Bing directory or the SSH environment. So yeah, that's it for now. So now we can go back and take a look of folder. You can see the difference now. You can see the difference that we have right now. These are the file that was created, and this script can be also improved by making it giving it the ability to create a multiple file, to delete multiple files, to improve the Docker environments. So how can we do that? Let me just do it right there. And so I will just open the folder again and create a login for our user via Docker. So to allow that, I'm just gonna say something like var-username. It's kind of pain for me to work with this without having to my interface, my IntelliJ program here. So let me use my editor. It's my best one, my best friend. Okay, got my folder right there, and then I trust the environment. There you go. This is our bash script language. This is the program that I'm currently working on. Make sure I correct some bugs that I have here. So once we have alright. So the read and write operation that we got here will allow us to read our data. You can see that now that I've entered the proper way, we are getting some good message down here. I can now enter the message requested and see the result. Hello, welcome. Hello is not logging, welcome, and so on. So the write operation works. Do it again. Alright, now I want to log in to my Docker environment, so my script will be able to do that by just saying something like echo Docker login, Docker login, then you will prompt the user to enter his credential. You can see when I say Docker login, we are not getting anything back, any response back, but this is just due to the fact that I did not provide the right command that will allow us to execute the program. So this is one way to do it. This is another way. You can see now we got login succeeded because I have already configured the system for my Docker environment. So the Docker app is connected. Once I say Docker login with the bash script, I'm already inside the directory called Docker, inside the Docker environment and the Docker hub. So now we are able to do whatever we want to do inside the Docker. We can create containers, we can create any type of project that we want, we can upgrade, we can delete files, delete images, most of those things that we want to do sometime when we are running inside the Docker environments. So those are the things that we want. Please enter your credential. You enter your credential. Once the authentication process is received, you can now start working inside your environment. So this is one simple functionality of the Docker helper that I've just created inside this Bash script language. So feel free to enjoy it, and yeah, this is how we work with the environment and being in Bash read and write operations. So if I want to change that read and write operations, and I want to change and use a different one thing that I would like to do is to go back and look inside my documentation to make sure that I'm not mistaken. So it's always good to work with those documentation, because we doesn't have all those words inside our brain. So we always want to make sure that everything that we are writing in the proper manner, written in the proper manner, and in the more standard way, so that we don't get in trouble while working in the environment. So you can see some helper here in this website. He has referenced a lot of stuff, a lot of things that are not really relevant to the type of thing that I want to be working on right now. So this is most for just a beginner system admin. So those are some commands. I can just say something like chmod, and then I can say 4096, and then the 4096, in front of the 4096 I can create this other folder, or I can use my Docker helper in directory. Since I don't have a Docker helper directory, it's a Linux folder. The Linux folder is there. chmod if I 666667 something here. So these codes are working inside for the file, in the file only. So it's very, very important to pay attention to that. And not only, I think I made a mistake here. I'm already inside a folder called Linux folder. So what I would like to do right now is just to say change the type, the privilege of the file that I'm trying to work on. So there's chmod 4096 docker helper. So the docker helper.sh file will have this code. It has only the read operations. Or let's go back and see if our folder have changed. In types, you can see looks like nothing have really changed. So because I changed the specification of my file, what I want to make sure is to try to execute the program again and see if it will run. If it runs, it's okay, but if it doesn't write, it means the system works as it should. If you write, then I think I will have made some mistakes somehow. So let's just do that by saying bash. You can see saying bash docker help .sh. Please enter your see the execution here. Enter your credential dash 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 dash. So the code has been able to execute. Now I change the specific property, and let's see if it will work again. Just change that one. So I say bash docker helper sh. Okay. So now I can say hello world, welcome to docker helper, and then please enter your credential. It does the read operations, and the reason why we are doing this, because when we work in the Linux environment, we have to deal with a lot of commands, and those commands, sometimes when you are trying to run a specific program, you are unable because of the restriction of the property that we have in the folder, in the file, and those restrictions sometimes kind of be annoying if you don't know how to fix them. So it's very important to know those commands so that you don't get in trouble when you are trying to build a specific task. You can see that now we got some logs on this docker helper folder .sh. This folder cannot be accessible by anybody, by a lot of people, and now he uses kite to operate with. So kite use Python, the Python development environment, to generate to work with this interface, the bash script interface. So that's how that's what it is. So thank you for watching, thank you for being with us. This is the first editions. I hope you guys enjoy the content, and yeah, let me know what you think about, and I will be publishing a lot of ideas, a lot of tools, tips on these channels, and to make everybody happier and improve their skill in the environment, in the tech environment. You can see how we got now a Linux folder specific with this type of condition. It has a green, it has a specific meaning. So if I want to make sure to check what type of property do we got in this folder. What can I say? I can just go ahead and look at the CLI and the LL. You can see on my CLI I just typed LL. The LL allows us to see the property of the specific directory that we want to be working on. Like you can see, this one has the 4096 codes on it. The 4096 has a read and write operation. What is that? Uses a specific code that it holds, 4096. If you copy this code and try to understand what it means, if you don't know this permission, you read about it by saying a directory has the data allow read, write, and execute permission for users, group, and all orders. So this directory will allow read and write operation to all users and others and so on. So that's why we got that key that you see right there. It is locked and cannot be edited by many people. It's a really restricted environment for yeah, I think that's it for now, and thank you for watching, and hope you guys enjoy. Bye bye.